welcome to our kitchen here at Raggedy Hen Farm. Today we're going to talk about how to process produce, fruits and vegetables in this handy dandy dehydrator. This is an electric dehydrator, and Terry and I talked about getting one of these for longer than I care to admit, and I happened to be walking down the aisle in a thrift store recently and saw this one sitting there. So for $12, brought it home, gave it a try, and we have dried and dehydrated pounds and pounds of fruits and vegetables so far this season. Now our second-hand dehydrator does not have a fan, but most dehydrators work on the same principles. They gently heat the air and it circulates around the food so that it draws out the moisture and it dehydrates it. So you'll see that there are several trays, and ours happens to be made out of plastic. Some people will make their own dehydrators or have use screens out in the sun, but this one works really awesomely for us. We have used this dehydrator to dehydrate fruits that we use in our chicken scratch granola, and we also have used it to dehydrate zucchini and tomatoes and things that we'll throw into soups and stews, or fruits like these apples that we just snack on. Okay, I'm going to show you how it works, so let's get started. Alrighty, first we're going to cut up some of these tomatoes, and these are actually heirloom tomatoes that we have grown in our garden, and we have more than we can possibly eat fresh, so we've made sauces and we've canned them, and we are also dehydrating them. And you can choose how you want to cut them, but you'll want to make sure they're pretty big chunks, because what happens in the dehydrator is they will shrink up as they lose their moisture, and if you slice them too small, then they'll get so small and hard that they won't even be very useful. So a tomato this size you can just simply cut in half, and a bigger tomato you could cut these in wedges if you wanted. I'm going to take these off, and they end up going to our chickens because they love them so much. You can cut them in slices, you can cut them in wedges. Either way, they will dry up just fine. It kind of depends on how you're going to want to use them. If you're going to be throwing them in soups and stews, or using them as just as you would sun-dried tomatoes. So depending on the size, you just cut your tomatoes up, and it doesn't matter whether they're all the same or they're all different. This is about the size of the chunks that you will want. And then we're going to go ahead and stick those on our tray. And I put them fairly close together, but don't overlap them. And the reason you can put them close together is because it will only be a matter of an hour, and these will already be shrinking up and have plenty of space. So you want to make sure there's room for the air to circulate around them, but you don't have to have a ton of space. So this is what they will look like when you get them in here. And you'll see that these stack. I already have one that's in there. I will stack another one, and you can actually mix your fruits and vegetables if you want to, and do different types of things in one session of the dehydrator. So here I've got a tray of zucchinis that I cut up, and these are actually some pretty thick wedges. Our neighbor cat had some zucchini that got away from her, and we rescued it and brought it over, and I've been dehydrating it. So you can see I've kind of cut them into chunks, and these will shrink up to be really flat. So I'm going to stack these in here with the tomatoes, no problem. Here's another tray of mostly cherry tomatoes that I have that are going to get stacked up here. And you'll see I've mixed and matched them. The only time that maybe you wouldn't want to mix and match, or probably for sure you wouldn't want to mix and match, is like if you were going to dry onions or garlic and something with a really strong smell, or you were dehydrating herbs, you'd probably want to do just one batch and then clean your dehydrator, because those smells will permeate and affect each other. But here you start to get a nice full dehydrator full of vegetables. Once all of your fruits and vegetables are dry, and you will know that they are dry and ready when they have lost all their moisture, but they're still a little bit pliable. And I'll show you with these apricots that we dehydrated about a month or so ago. They are a perfect example. See, they're still kind of rubbery, but they're not moist, they're not wet, and they're definitely not brittle. And these are awesome just for snacking. Or we've chopped them up and kind of made a paste out of them and used them in pastries and breads. Again, they're just stored in these jars. They're sealed up so they stay nice and fresh. These are the apricots. We've dehydrated some apples from our apple trees. And these are tomatoes that I've been working on for the past week or so. And you will see that they are all different beautiful colors of heirloom tomatoes. When these are dry, they're going to be put into this jar, and I can use this in, like I said, it can go in soups and stews. If you wanted to with your dehydrated tomatoes, you could put them in a jar and cover them with olive oil. That's what you get when you buy sun-dried tomatoes soaking in olive oil in the grocery store. You can also freeze these. Anything that you have dehydrated, if you want to put it in a Ziploc bag, seal it and freeze it, it will last even longer. And those are just some of what we have dehydrated so far this summer. Thanks for stopping by in the kitchen here at Raggedy Hen Farm. And if you want to know more about Raggedy Hen Farm, check us out on the web at www.raggedyhenfarm.com. And we will see you next time here at the crossroads of urban and farm. Thanks a lot. Bye.